Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here to the RENNSPORT Community League. My name is Lino, and I'm joined by Tim Ireland here in the commentator booth as we introduce Season 5. Actually, we have this running for quite some time now that I think about it. And today we not only implement a new or greet a new season of RCL, but also a pretty big grid. But first of all, hello, Tim.
Hello. I was wondering if you were actually going to say hello to me.
Never.
I am here. It's true. Hi everyone on Twitch.
So yeah, today to kick off season 5 here at Hockenheim, which will be a legacy season, we'll go more into that in just a bit of time. But we have 22 signups. I think we currently have about 20 cars on track in qualifying, as we are currently watching Alizar here, who's finally been able to join. And I think it will be very interesting today. We also have another few things that might be interesting. But yeah, the main thing from today is definitely the grid size, which for us is pretty big.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of cars on track, a lot of new faces. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on.
Big issue.
Yeah, I seem to have the same issue you do.
We'll try if we can resolve that in just a moment's time. But yeah, starting off season 5 with the grid like this, I think that's a very interesting thing to look at. Of course, we rarely had a grid this size in RCL. We had it in a few RCEs quite some time ago. But yeah, RCLs is a new thing in that sense.
Yeah, and it's good to see this many cars on track, which is always awesome start to the season. It's good to see a few more people joining in, a bit more interest being taken up for the RCL. More competition for a certain Dominic Ladler.
Who isn't in this race today?
No, he had a bit of a technical problem with Dominic Ladler, so he was unable to join. Technical problems seeming to be the topic of the day at the minute.
Very much so. Of course, big shame. It's unfortunately not the first time we had this.
No, it doesn't make it any better though. But yeah, it's having a bit of trouble with the replay servers right now.
In the meantime, while we are trying if we can get the issue resolved or not, we could take a look at what the season looks like, because we are starting, of course, today in Hockenheim. And as said previously, it is a bit of a legacy season. We are going back to the roots of not only RENNSPORT, but also if we think back to the first season ESL-R1 in spring of 2023, which is also quite a while back. Then, yeah, we see we had 6 tracks in from the beginning, and the first 5 of them were the ones that you see on the sheet. And of course, episode 6, I think that was a very cool thing we implemented last time around. The race voting, which was Road Atlanta last time around, which was also part of the original 6. Who knows, maybe it will be the final race again this time. Maybe not, depending on, of course, what the people voting for are voting for. That makes sense. So
yeah, I think if I'm correct that this is the order the tracks were put in game as well, isn't it?
It very much is. It was also, of course, the order in which they were raced in the first ESL. season. And I mean, when I started RENNSPORT or working with RENNSPORT, then we had Hockenheim and 2 cars, a Porsche and the BMW M4. That was it. That was how RENNSPORT started. And then, of course, we added Nürburgring very quickly, and yeah, then it just came after time. Of course, the first 4 races were Spa, Monza, added to Hockenheim and Nürburgring, and the first track we raced at was actually, I think, Spa. So it wasn't quite the order in which they were shown in ESL 1, but it was the order they were implemented in.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time to be around, and I'm sure we will get more into that during the season. I mean, you came to RENNSPORT a bit later than me, I guess, but
I did a bit.
There were a lot of fun things in those time.
You were one of the OGs. I'm merely a hanger-on.
Not as OG as Lucas, but it seems like we unfortunately can't get the replay issue resolved today, which is a big shame because I think after seeing last week's race here at Hockenheim, would have been a great race. And yeah, of course we will try to resolve the issue for next week. And we will get highlights from these races. One thing we are definitely working on is to get highlights out on the socials, which also includes highlights from you guys, but that will come in a later date. So highlights from this race will be posted fairly soon, and of course there are certain people in the community that also do highlight races or share their VODs. You can watch this race on the following channels. You can watch it from Enrico Bräuniger's POV and from Bruno Weber's POV. I will just quickly send the links to those 2 into the chat, so I would recommend checking them out. They are both front runners, and I'm sure you will have a great time supporting them. Supporting the people that support us is always a great deal for both of us. And I'd say I'm very sorry that we can't deliver racing action to you today. But on the other hand, you can still follow it on the channels. So we wish you a great time watching those channels. And until next time, hopefully without issues, goodbye.
Goodbye.